YouTube, what is going on? Your boy Young Mustard is back with another video, and man, oh man, I have a lot to say about Damian Lillard, and to all the Portland Trailblazer fans who basically killed me after that video I made about the 5 players who need to be traded. But before we get into that, guys, if you are not following me on Twitter, I want you guys to do me a favor and follow me on Twitter, because I've been live tweeting with a lot of fans and a lot of my subscribers on Twitter. So if you guys want to see my opinion in the moment, while things are going on, y'all go and follow me on Twitter. Now, before we get any further, I'd like for you guys to download the app SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an app that takes tickets from all over the web and puts them in one place that makes buying them easy. They score every ticket from 1 to 10 to make sure you're getting the best deal. You can view the seats from the app that lets you know where you're going to sit. And make sure you click on the link in the description, enter the promo code MUSTARD for $20 off on your first purchase, just in case you're not fully convinced. The link will be down below in the description box. Make sure you do that after watching this video. Now, the Portland Trailblazers and Damian Lillard had one of the most unorthodox seasons this year. They started off really rough. Damian Lillard struggled with some injuries. CJ McCollum did manage to keep them afloat. And, they struggled a little bit. They were hovering around that 6th to 8th seed, and at times not even in the playoffs. But later on, they really caught their footing, and the Blazers just went off. Damian Lillard was phenomenal. As from January till March, he averaged 28 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds, while shooting 46% from the field and 37% from 3, and also 91% from the free throw line. The team was phenomenal as well, as they had a record of 28-7, and they just won a lot of games. And then they eventually nearly won 50 games in the season. They captured the 3rd seed in the Western Conference, and a lot of people, including myself, had them going at least into the 2nd round and giving Golden State some problems. And if they didn't have Steph Curry, maybe, who knows, maybe they could upset the Golden State Warriors. But all of that is over now, because in the first round of the playoffs, they lost to the 6th-seeded New Orleans Pelicans, and trust me, I don't think it's that big of an upset, but the way they lost was just horrendous, as they were swept. They could not get a game off the New Orleans Pelicans. And I think that we can all come to the realization that even though CJ didn't come on that strong until game 4, Nurkic wasn't that great, the biggest disappointment of this series has to be Damian Lillard, because in the playoffs during this 4-game sweep, Damian Lillard averaged just under 19 points and 4 assists to 4 turnovers, just under 5 rebounds, while shooting 35% from the field and 30% from 3. Yes, it was just one of the worst games that Damian Lillard could have. And in the closeout game against the Pelicans, which was game 4, it just makes Dame look even worse, because CJ, he balled, Nurkic, he balled, Aminu, he balled, Turner balled, everyone balled except for Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard had 19 points and 6 assists. But you're a guy who, over a stretch of 2 months, was putting up nearly 30 points a game, and all you give them is 19 points? CJ McCollum had 38 points on 68% field goal shooting. Evan Turner, who a lot of people complain is overpaid, had 15 points and 5 assists on 50% field goal shooting. Al-Farouq Aminu, 27 points, also had 6 rebounds on 55% field goal shooting, and from 3 shot 45%. Nurkic, who struggled throughout the series, had 18 points and 11 rebounds on over 60% field goal shooting. But it's clear, at least in my eyes, that Damian Lillard was the biggest detriment to this team during this series. And this is not a knock on him. I think Damian Lillard is one of the top 10 point guards in the league today, and that's very valuable. But when you open your mouth consistently about how you're snubbed and how you're slept on and how you should make more All-Star games and All-NBA appearances, I expect you to perform at the level of those players who they're snubbing you to make those All-Star games and make those All-NBA appearances. But you're just not at that level, and it sucks. But Damian Lillard, this series is going to define your legacy probably for the rest of your career, until you maybe win a championship. And you know what makes this even worse for Damian Lillard? Dame, throughout his career, has been a consistent choker. I'm going to take you back to his first season when he made the playoffs, because in 2014, yes, he was phenomenal against Houston. Shot 50% from the field in the closeout game and 60% from three, and hit the walk-off three to win the series. But no one ever talks about what happened in the next series against San Antonio, because in that series against San Antonio, he had a poor shooting performance from three as he shot 17% from three, and in the closeout game, they were blown out by 22 points, and he had 17 points and 17 assists, but he also had 4 turnovers and shot below 40% from the field and 25% from three. And in 2015, the next season, things didn't get better, because in 2015 against the Memphis Grizzlies, where they lost in 5 games, Damian Lillard was not good at all. Damian Lillard, yes, he did average 22 points and 5 assists and 4 rebounds, but shot below 41% from the field and shot 16% from three. He was 1 of 6 each and every game basically from three. In the closeout game, in game 5, Damian Lillard had 22 points, but he shot around 42% from the field and had 3 assists to 6 turnovers while shooting 12% from three. That is unacceptable. And in a game that was decided by 6 points, where you shoot 42% from the field, 12% from three, and have 6 turnovers, that definitely contributes to you losing the game. Damian Lillard was not good in that game, nor in that series. But let's look at the next season, because in the next season, though he did dominate the Clippers, and I give him props because they did win in 6, let's be real, just like this season, he was helped due to injuries. But in the next series against the Golden State Warriors, though he did average 32 points per game and 8 assists, he also shot 36% from the field. That is horrendous. And in the last 2 games, a lot of people are going to jump to conclusions and say, oh, it was the Warriors, what was he supposed to do? Well, I present the last 2 games as evidence on what he could have done, because in the last 2 games, in game 4, they lost by 7 points, and in game 5, they lost by 4. And in both of those games, he shot below 30% from the field. In game 4, he also shot 27% from three, and in game 5, shot 25% from three. And in both of those games, those were games decided by 10 points or less. That is clear that shooting inefficient clearly contributes to you losing those games. And when you consider the fact that in the closeout game, he shot below 30% and below 27% from three, that's a game that he also turned the ball over 5 times. A game that's decided by 4 points is clearly going to be weighed on the amount of turnovers that you have and the inefficiency that you shoot from the field. Damian Lillard cost them that series, or should I just say cost them those 2 games. So this whole thing that Damian Lillard has gotten this reputation of being clutch, yes, it's in the regular season, but in the postseason, Damian Lillard has failed to show up on the grand stage. I mean, he's choked every single year. In the past 10 playoff games, Damian Lillard is 0-10. Throughout the whole playoffs, he's shooting around 39% from the field. That is horrendous. That is not acceptable at all. I mean, in the playoffs consistently, yes, he can put up 24 to 25 points, but when you're shooting 40% from the field, that's unacceptable. Damian Lillard is not a clutch player. He has shown that he's a choker. Every single year, he chokes. In the 5 playoff appearances that Damian Lillard has had in his career, he has shot 40% or lower 3 out of the 5 times throughout the entire playoffs. Damian Lillard is one of the most inefficient scorers in playoff history. Damian Lillard, I'm sorry, until you show up in the playoffs, I cannot put you in conversations like Steph and Kyrie. You're just not in their class. You're not in the elite level class of point guards, and maybe not even in the elite level class of players until you show up on the grand stage. Now, like I said in that video where I said those 5 players who need to be traded, Dame or CJ may need to be traded, and if you can get more for Dame, I'm sorry, you might have to pull the trigger, because how long are you going to run this experiment? How many first round and second round exits are you going to run? Because I'm tired of hearing that Dame is snubbed when he gets prime opportunities to show why he's being snubbed and how great he is. But the problem is, this year was the best opportunity for him to do that. When you have injuries to players such as Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, Rudy Gobert, Boogie Cousins, he could not capitalize on that. He went into the playoffs as the 3rd seed against the 6th seeded New Orleans Pelicans without their 2nd best player in DeMarcus Cousins, who's an all-NBA talent, which really hurt their roster. He lost in 4. He got swept in 4. He did not win a single game. And in each of those games, he was probably the #1 reason why they lost. And when you think about it, he got outplayed by Drew Holiday and even Rajon Rondo. To some people, you could argue he was outplayed by Rondo. 2 players who a lot of people have looked at in negative lights, one because one is overpaid, and 2 because the other is viewed as just a selfish player who just doesn't have it anymore in the league that has really adapted to 3-point shooting. So it is clear that Damian Lillard is just not at the level that a lot of us thought he was on. Hell, I even took back the words I said about him because I really thought that Damian Lillard had elevated his game to at least reach the elite level status of players in the NBA, but I was wrong. So you guys, let me know in the comment section what you think about this video, because man, Damian Lillard has really upset not just me, and he's let down basically everybody in Portland and everybody in the NBA because everyone thought he was this slept on player, but I guess we were wrong, guys. So y'all let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. Hit the like button if you like it. Also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit the bell next to my name to be notified. Follow me on Twitter. This is your boy Mustard signing out. Have a great day. Peace.